Bienvenidos and welcome to Inside the UPSL on TVE Max and on TVEmax.com. You can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, and on Instagram. That is at UPSL Soccer. I am Alex Naveja, the host for tonight, and alongside with me tonight is Art Eftikari. Just a little bit of a short staff tonight, but we're here every Thursday night to bring you the latest news on the fastest growing pro development soccer league, the UPSL. We'd like to welcome you guys to Off the Top. We're going to introduce to you the top 3 news in lower division soccer. First off, we do have the Florida Soccer Soldiers moving on to the 2019 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup after America SC dropped out of this one. What is this going to mean for the Soccer Soldiers?
Well, I mean, for them, it's basically like, okay, don't have to worry about this big game. Just go straight to the 2018 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. So, easy, right? Didn't have to do much. They were in the tournament, and America Soccer Club decided to drop out. So, I guess I would say pretty simple with that. And they do join Milwaukee Bavarian SC in the tournament as well.
So looking like some big things coming towards the Soccer Soldiers. But how exciting is this going to be? It kind of feels like a handout right then and there. You hear about America SC dropping out of it, and then now you're just getting the news, oh, we're going to be a part of the 2019 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. How exciting is this for the ball club?
For Florida Soccer Soldiers, it's very exciting. I mean, they get to play in, the tournament of all tournaments for club soccer in the United States. And for amateur teams, this is what it's all about. So it's a lot of excitement, and they have a lot of preparing to do. But I, for one, I am disappointed that America Soccer Club dropped out. I mean, come on, what's the deal? You dominated. Now you have this big game to try and go to the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup, and that's it. It's just done. I'm not a big fan of that.
Got to be something going on behind the scenes, but we'll see what ends up happening with them. But now, with the Soccer Soldiers having to now stay in pace with former spring champions with Bavarian SC coming in, having to play against them. Now in the Atlantic Caribbean Division, that started off its second season this past weekend. How did it go this weekend?
Well, as you know, games did get underway, but one game in particular, Honduras, 5 Stars against FC Yardaz, it ended in a 1-1 tie, but that's due to darkness. He says even though lights were available, says the league is investigating. So I don't know what to really say about that. Honestly, I do have a little bit of experience. I remember calling the U.S. Open Cup qualifier between Cal United and Cal FC. It was the Cal Derby, and the lights went off. That's the night I always refer to as the night the lights went out in Thousand Oaks. So I remember that of course was disappointing. But I don't know what to say about this. They said, the game ended early because of darkness, but lights are available. I mean, pretty much, it's one of those things where it's like one of those moments where the tumbleweed goes across the shot. Imagine if it went across here, that would be the perfect time, right?
That's exactly right. But you know what, I think we could probably lend them a couple of lights here in the studio. We got some pretty bright lights to lend them on now. Maybe they can get back into it while investigations are going on right now. But why do you think all these investigations are going on right now?
It's such a tough thing to get into. I'm really just like stuck. They have to investigate something. I mean, the league wants to know, why the game ended due to darkness. Well, I mean, I guess their work's going to be cut out for them. They got a lot to do.
Well, we'll have to wait and see for what the final say is and what the league says. But we do have a new league coming into play, the USSL Pro Division. Is this going to be another bad rebranding effort from the people that brought forth U.S. Premiership?
Right now, I'm actually on their Twitter. And when I get some time, I'm planning on drinking a lot of coffee and doing some more of my homework. So right now, I can't really tell you that much. But, when looking at their Twitter, I'm kind of confused. I mean, it seems like they have over 100 followers, so they might be doing something right. But I guess the rumor has it is that there's 3 men who already own and operate the Texas Premier Soccer League. That supposedly these are the the guys, the powers that be that are involved. And some people are wondering, is this for real? And right now, who knows? I mean, this is a good question. Is this, are the same people who are behind this? Are these the same people who are behind the U.S. Premiership? I mean, I heard of that league a while ago too. It doesn't seem like they're getting that much. I don't know if you want to call it traction, but they do seem to be a little active.
They do seem active, but it's kind of weird how it's gone so far. I even checked out the Twitter myself, and it said it joined March 2019, and one of the tweets said they were about 48 hours old. Only 2 days in and already having that many followers. But you look at the following base and it's at least over 700. So you got to believe, is this a serious thing coming in for the USSL Pro division? Or is this going to be just something that's going to fade away, just like a fad type of thing?
Well, I mean, when you look at their picture right now, I mean, the logo they have there is the old U.S. soccer logo. And that right there to me just makes me say, it's hard for me to question the validity of this league right now. So, like you said before, we are just going to have to wait and see.
And he said it just right. He took the words right out of my mouth. But we're going to take our first break here in Inside the UPSL. But when we come back, Art and I are actually going to throw on our swing shoes early in this one. And fans, don't forget to stay up to date with all of your favorite news in your favorite soccer league. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. That is at UPSL Soccer. And welcome back to Inside the UPSL, presented by TVE Max. Now it's time to turn on the tunes as we bring you the UPSL East Coast Swing, and we bring you the hottest topics here in the UPSL East Side. First, to start off with, we have Florida as the Red Force FC just making it out with a win 3-2 over the expansion side Atletico Miami FC. Both new teams on that one. Thoughts on that game?
Obviously a very entertaining one, and yeah, it was back and forth, had a lot of action, and a great game called by Lee Ifans. We had the privilege of getting to talk to him on a previous edition of Inside the UPSL, and I love the positive energy he brings to the game. But yeah, and a huge win for Red Force FC, obviously. But their next game is going to be a real tough one against Miami Sun FC. I mean, that's one everyone's looking forward to. Both teams are 2-0, but Miami Sun has a positive 7-goal difference. So right now, I'd have to say that Miami Sun is favored going into that one. But we all know anything could happen.
And also, Miami Sun just played against Atleticos and winning that one with a 7-2 final on that one. So big things coming to the way of Miami Sun, but we'll have to see what happens. Lee Ifans was He was here last week on the show, and yeah, quite an exciting guy to have. And
Yeah, right. It was only a week ago. My bad. It seemed like it was a while ago, but we'll move past that.
a week ago seems like a long time for the both of us. I was on the same boat too. I didn't know if he came last week or not. But now, moving on to the Southeast, we have Soda City FC taking on Lowcountry United FC, battling for the top of the table. Was the end result of this game? How was it? I know it ended up at a 2-2 tie. What did that game look like?
Well, I mean, just like you said, a lot of action, and just neither team, they had to share the spoils. I think you're always gonna have, both of those teams, feel like, hey, I wish we could continue playing. I mean, you just know that one of those teams, both teams badly want that victory, and that's something to keep an eye on. As the season, as we move forward in this season. And I think there'll be some entertaining games coming up. I mean, Soda City will be playing against LSA Pro. I mean, they're going to have to keep pace, and Lowcountry United's going to do everything they can to keep pace at the top of that division as well. And next we'll be playing against Charleston United Soccer Club. I think that'll be an exciting one.
And to add on to that, in the Southeast, the Clovers also losing 2 tough games. Not used to seeing that. They lost 3-0 to Soda City, and then losing a 5-1 game against Charleston United. So a bit of a tough game for the Clovers. And what are you thinking so far? What's going through the ball club for the Clovers there?
Right now, it's hard for me to say. Well, one thing that's obviously, you could say that things are not working on all cylinders. They've lost both games. They've only scored 1. They've let in 8. Clearly, something needs to be taken care of. They got to get things turned around fast. Otherwise, this season will be finished for them before you know it.
Mm-hmm. Now we're going to shift our attention over to the Northeast as Allentown United FC joining the UPSL Championship tier this time. What's that going to mean for the ball club?
Well, it's going to be, more opportunities to play a lot of, competitive matches. But, one of my sources lately is informed me that I believe Allentown probably will not be joining that quickly, but, they will be playing in the Northeast, and we're waiting to hear more news from them. But yes, they are part of the UPSL, but just not sure yet right at the moment when they will begin play.
Mm-hmm. And with this new addition, with Allentown joining that championship tier, what's that going to mean for the rest of the championship tier for the other teams?
Well, it just means, everyone's going to have to, just gear up and get ready. This is all about promotion and relegation, and it's going to be very competitive.
So extra competition coming to the way of the Northeast. But now shifting our way over to the Midwest as the spring season team schedule was just being announced, and a lot of announcements left and right. Which division do you think will be the hottest as far as the North, the South, the East, or even the West? A lot of divisions there to choose from.
Yeah, there really are. I mean, with the Midwest, a lot of quality teams. Right off the bat, it's hard for me to really come up with which one I think is the one I'm looking forward to paying attention to, but not a surprise for me. It'd be the Midwest Central. You got Milwaukee Bavarian. They're also in the same division as Croatian Eagle Soccer Club. And I'm focusing a lot, don't get me wrong, a lot of great teams in all the other divisions. But with Milwaukee Bavarian, they have the target on their back. Teams want to beat them. And they're such a great team that it'll be hard to see. They'll be tough to beat. And that's, for now, for me, focusing on the Central, which team, will one of these teams be able to, dethrone Milwaukee Bavarian? That's the question.
They're the former champions, as I mentioned before in the previous segment. Going to be a tough task to be able to take them out. But any matchups you're looking forward to out of that schedule being released?
Well, basically for me, I'm going to be looking forward to every game Milwaukee will be playing, that's for sure. But like I said, I think them going at it against Croatian Eagles, you got 2 historical clubs there. A lot of soccer history. That's a matchup I'm looking forward to.
All right, we'll see what's coming up next for the soccer for the Bavarian. Now, final stop, we're going to stop over at the Central as the newly branded Arlington FC off to a hot 2-0 start to this 2019 spring campaign in the championship tier. What has worked so well for them, just being able to get the 2-0-0 record.
Well, like you said, 2 wins out of 2 matches. Well, one thing that's working well for them, well, actually, I think everything is. They beat Dallas City FC 2-0. They beat Terrell FC 5-0. They're scoring goals, and they're playing excellent defense. So right now, everything is working for them. Hard to see. Right now, it's, you can pretty much say, the question is, which team will be able to stop them, but also it's early in the season. They've only played 2 games, so you can't get too carried away, but they're looking good.
You think with these 2 wins, is this going to be for them to make a statement here in the Central? Is this going to be their way telling them, hey, we're the big boys, no one's going to stop us, we're already 2-0, already getting some shutout wins there?
Well, right now they're making that statement. Like, you have to definitely making a statement, but then when you look at other teams in there, you got Weatherford FC. They've only played 1 game, but they won that game 6-0. So, maybe we gotta focus our attention on Weatherford as well. Maybe they'll be the team that can weather the storm.
That's a good one. I like that
actually,
one.
No, it was bad, but thank you.
Hey, but I appreciate your try on the fly. Weather's pretty nice here in SoCal, but hopefully the Central, they're dealing with some nice weather as well. And currently, right now with Arlington FC on 2 games with 7 goals already, offensively looking pretty solid right about there. But that's going to be the end of the song here in the East Coast Swing. But when we come back, we're going to go say what's up to the UPSL West Side.
Mr. John manages a small football club with just a few followers. Every day he wonders, how can I attract more supporters? Internet is the answer, but a channel is time-consuming, expensive, and hard to maintain. Everything has changed since Mr. John met MyCujo, the football broadcasting solution for small and medium-sized clubs and leagues. Mr. John noticed how everything has started to change quickly when supporters and fans began to arrive. If you want your club to enjoy the same benefits as Mr. John's, sign up with mycujo.tv. Attract more followers for your club and empower its business now. MyCujo, democratization of football broadcasting. mycujo.tv.
And welcome to Inside the UPSL, presented by TV EMAX. And now it's time to say what's up to the UPSL West Side as we bring you the latest topics on the UPSL West Side. First off, we have Southwest. Is there a club ready to challenge Sporting AZ FC right now?
Yes, definitely, and that team is Southwest FC, and they actually beat Sporting AZ FC 4-1, during 2019 U.S. Open Cup qualifying. So I would say, yeah, Southwest FC could definitely challenge Sporting AZ FC, and I think it'll be entertaining to see how things go when they play each other.
So should we be expecting, this is the matchup of the year right here, 2 squads going at it back and forth right then and there for these 2?
It's definitely one of them to keep an eye out. Like you said, we're starting out with the Southwest, and how convenient, right? Southwest FC is one of the teams that, that is ready to challenge Sporting AZ FC, and looking forward to that matchup.
Now we're going to move on over to the Mountain Conference as the Boise Cutthroats FC have announced their first game of the season. Conference champs are going to travel and play against the Salt Lake City-based Gordy's FC on March 30th this Saturday. Got any predictions on that game?
Well, for me, seeing as how Boise Cutthroats FC, they're the conference champs, they're the team to beat, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. My prediction, Boise wins 3-1. I think Gordy's FC will give them a run for their money, but I'm going with Boise to start off the season on a positive note.
Why not? You just won the championship. Let's try to win another one here in the spring. Now, shifting our attention over to NorCal, who are the contenders to win in this Wild West division?
Well, the Wild West, I've always been a big fan of the name of this division, but I feel like prior to us, getting things ready, I remember you were mentioning this team, others are mentioning the team as well, Contra Costa, right? They seem to be that early front runner. They're dominating right now. I think they're definitely one of the teams to beat. 3 games, 3 wins. They've scored 13. They've only allowed 1 goal. Obviously, that's a team. They're the team to beat right now, no matter which way you look at it. But when I feel like when I look at the standings and the other teams that have, this history of doing well in this division, I gotta talk about teams like Nevada Coyotes FC, as well as Jaza Redwood City. So it's early, but right now, to me, Contra Costa FC, they're obviously the team to beat. The numbers don't lie.
I actually share the same idea as you. I actually like the name, the Wild West Division. There's something about it. It just makes me think about the Cowboys and think about just like the Wild West. Like, hey, put them up, stick them, with the guns and such.
Yeah,
so
with
that's
the holsters and all that. Yeah.
That's what I usually think about on that. But my choice is going to be to Contra Costa, so far being 3-0 start, and within those 3 games that they've played, they have scored 13 goals. So they're definitely on the high offense, and defensively looking pretty solid as well. But we're going to have to wait and see. Only 3 games in, still a long season ahead of them as we now make our way to SoCal. And now there's going to be a friendly matchup coming up. I believe it's going to be this weekend against the LA Wolves and Cal United FC. Some pretty talented ball clubs coming in right there. The Wolves coming in pretty hot. What do you have for me? What predictions do you have?
Well, recently the Wolves, they had a battle against Cal FC. The other, I understand how fans can get confused. And you got a Cal United, you got a Cal FC. Well, recently the Wolves, had a battle that they lost 4-3 to Cal FC. I mean, a quality team. Now they're playing friendly against another quality team, Cal United. Of course, defending champions. That's going to be one heck of a game. And I think everyone should, if the opportunity is there, get out to the stadium and, watch the game. It'll be very entertaining. I mean, it always is when you got Cal United going up against the LA Wolves.
I've actually been out there in LA Harbor College. Exciting play coming from the Wolves. Well, of course, that was last season. But, I mean, good things and exciting tempo for the Wolves going there. But I've also experienced some Cal United games as well. And both of these teams, very exciting. Both of them are going to be, I think, in the high offense. For this one, it's going to be a very high-scoring game. But for those of you that have an opportunity to go out to the game, I definitely say to take that advantage. But we're going to take our final break here in the studio. But when we come back, we'll have our final thoughts and say our final goodbyes. Please do not forget to follow us on all of your social media platforms. That is on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter. That is at UPSL Soccer. Welcome back to Inside the UPSL, presented by TVE Max. Did you hear about the new piece coming out from NPR? And it was Nico Emac coming out with a piece off of the LA10 FC Syrian-born defense player. It was Omar Zarzour. Did you get a chance to listen to that?
I did not get the chance to listen, but I did my reading, and great story. I mean, these are the stories, you like reading about. I mean, of course, struggle as well involved in it. I mean, he's from Syria. We know that there's been, war that has ravaged the country for quite a few years. And, it's great to read about Omar and, and how much he loves the sport. And here he is now playing for LA10 in the United Premier Soccer League. And, yeah, it's really great to learn about him. And, I love the parts of the story where, his mom would tell him to go, pick up some the groceries, or told him to pick up some stuff from the store, and he would just see kids playing in the street, playing soccer, and he right away was drawn to it. I mean, great story. Honestly, I'd like to get out to a LA10 FC game and maybe get the chance to chat with him and see how he does.
I had the conversation with some of the people here in the studios to say we have to bring this guy in after learning about his story, have him in, talk about it a little bit more, or even we said a little joke, have a little 30 for 30 type of thing, bring him in, we have a little interview, a little chat with him, and have him share all that knowledge with him. But that's the type of dedication and that's the type of passion that you want in a player, moving from across the world to come here to the United States to find a soccer league and to play in it, and to find a team trying out for it, the coach telling them, hey, you know what, you're on the squad, and just those are the type of players that you live to see. And just for him to escape from a difficult time in Syria, having to deal with the war and such, and just he went through a lot of rough times there, but him finding his way to the end of the tunnel, the light of the tunnel here in the States, and now playing soccer, happy, passionate about the game, and like I said, I would also love to talk to the guy too.
Yeah, I mean, he comes from a family, where he has that sport in his blood. His father, Imad Zarzour, he played center back, and he also, not just at the club level, he also played for the Syrian national team as well. So, I mean, pretty sure Omar would like to follow in those same footsteps. I mean, it'd be great for him. It'd be awesome to get to play for the Syrian national team. And, they made quite a run during 2018 World Cup qualifying. I mean, they finished third in their group in the final round, and they put up such an awesome fight against Australia in the playoffs.
And I just heard Omar talking a little bit about when he was younger, he wanted to be like his dad, and he wanted to follow up in his footsteps and play defense just like his father did. And he said a little bit of a joke saying, oh, I know if you look at my dad now, he's a little bit of the bigger size and such. And that's the same thing of my dad as well, being in the bigger size, having that soccer blood as well. But I can definitely see Omar following his dad's footsteps and trying to make it, at least maybe even make it to the national team. And you just don't know how far this guy can make it to, but I feel like he's in the right tracks, and everything that he has done, it all pays off.
Absolutely. And like we were saying, it'd be great to see Allentown play, and from where we are right now, it's not too far of a trip.
We'll definitely have to catch a game together sometime, man. But that's gonna be all the time we have left here in Inside the UPSL. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You can watch us on Facebook or on YouTube. I am your host, Alex Naveja, and with me tonight was Art F. Dakari. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good night, folks.